Hey kiddos. While I was getting ready to wrap it up, I just moved the truck and I looked back in the back seat and I noticed Nana still has Halloween stuff back here. Look at this. So she still has a box from Halloween. And it reminded me, of course, of the book because I haven't done the video I was supposed to do on Halloween. I'm going to go ahead and answer the questions about Halloween. It just passed, but before I get too far ahead on the book or on time, I'm going to go get that out of the way, but I'll see you in the room. There for a while, Anna was into these little toys called mini brands, and these mini brands come with these little mini brands. So they're mini versions of the name brand items like hot tamales, Fritos, Cheetos. They have several items. Well, she was collecting them, and she had gotten this. She had gotten this in one of her toys, and she knew hot tamales is my favorite candy. So it's hot tamales. It's my favorite candy. But I do like a lot of cinnamon candy. Most cinnamon candies are my favorite. Hot tamales, red hots, those cinnamon gummy bears. I even like cinnamon toothpicks. So cinnamon is my favorite candy. And chocolates, I'm not too fond of. Not a big fan of chocolates, but if I do have to say my favorite chocolate, I have two of them. It's Almond Joy and Three Musketeers. Those are my two favorite chocolates. Any other sour candies I love, lemon heads, lemon drops, anything sour, any sour candy, sour worms, sour bears, sour anything. Warheads, I love warheads. The more sour, the better. And I don't know what it is. I just love sour. I love it sour. And what else? Gummies, I like gummies. You know, the gummy bears, gummy worms. Another favorite candy of mine growing up was root beers. I like candy root beers. Those were good. They look like little barrels and they were root beer. Those are one of my favorites. Uh, wasn't a big fan of any kind of bubble gum per se. I liked what was it called? Big League. That's what we used to eat and chew when we were playing baseball. So Big League, that was a good one. Comes in a little pouch and they have different flavors: grape, original, green apple, I believe. They had a few of them, but now I don't chew too much gum. Just so to still eat my sour candy and my cinnamon candy. And that's about it as far as candy goes. And as far as the costumes go, I don't really remember dressing up a whole lot, like going all out. But I do remember. So when I was a kid, whatever character I was into at the time, let's say it was Spider-Man or Superman. Let's go with Superman. If I wanted to be Superman, excuse me, you bought this costume that came in a little box. Excuse me. And all these costumes came in the same box. The only difference was the character. Now the front of it was, or the character, Superman character was plastic. It was just a plastic with a rubber band on it. So you would put it on your face and it would come around and it'd be Superman. The outfit itself was like a plastic bag, pretty much. It was a plastic bag that you just put over you and it had his Superman
outfit printed on the bag. And if you wanted to be the Hulk, same thing. It was a Hulk mask. You wanted to be Spider-Man, Spider-Man mask. They were all plastic. The bags were all plastic, so you'd be walking around making all the noise in plastic. And we used to be those every year. Then if you made up your own costumes, if you were a witch or a wizard or a vampire, I think I was a vampire one year. You get the fangs and the fake blood and you paint your face white, and that was cool. I had the big cape, and that was it. Just those little, rinky-dink costumes. We used to get them at this store called Yellow Front, and it was a cool store. We used to go in there, and that's what they'd have all the costumes, laid out on the shelf, and you go out there and pick whichever one you wanted, and let's go, whichever costume you wanted to be. And as I got older, then stores came about where you can buy the mask, like the big rubber mask and the realistic looking mask if you wanted to be a werewolf or um, whatever president, was president at the time. But those were real expensive. And then they had some where like they came out with a Ninja Turtle one, and you can rent the whole costume, and it was like a mascot. It looked like a mascot costume, and you can rent those. And as a matter of fact, Dea Francis, my sister, she rented a Ninja Turtle one time for a birthday party, and I got in it and I dressed the part. I was like I dressed like Leonardo. Was it Leonardo? I don't even remember the color. Like it was the purple one, so it might have been Donatello. I don't know. But I was dressed as the Ninja Turtle, and I was doing like karate moves, and these little kids. It was at my I think it was my niece's birthday, but she wanted Ninja Turtles. I think so. I don't know. I can't remember if it was my niece or my nephew, one of her kids. But I was a teenager, so I got dressed up as a Ninja Turtle. They rented the costume, and I put it on for the kids and for the birthday party, and put on a show, and it was cool. It was cool. And other than that, as I got older, didn't dress up as much. Just wait, yeah, I didn't dress up as much because in junior high, I dressed up with one of my good friends. We dressed up one year just to be goofy, and I dressed like a hooker, and he was a pimp. So we were just being goofy. I threw on a dress with some ruby red heels. I think they were. I had red tube socks on, and then I had a red sparkly wig on, and I had a sparkly purse, and it was like a what's that? Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, like her shoes and all that stuff. It was those accessories, but I just put on a dress, and I was acting like a hooker, and he was my pimp. He had a suit on, a little Kango hat or brim hat. That's what he had, a brim hat, and that was funny. That was funny. And after that, I don't remember dressing up too much. I'm gonna leave it there. It's my childhood, and I don't know what more in the book is gonna come, but so that's about it as far as the costumes, the candy. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I guess.
Yeah, that's fine with trick or treating, and we did. A lot of our friends got together, but I remember my cousins too. A lot of my cousins would come over, and we'd all get together as kids, and we'd go trick or treating together. And then we would, let's say, we'd all meet up at our house, at my house. All the cousins would get together, and then we'd go to the next Tia's house, which was my Tia Lucy. She lived the closest. And then sometimes we would just go to other neighborhoods, like my other Tia's neighborhood. We would all go to her house, and then if Halloween was like on a Friday night or Saturday night, we pretty much would just end up staying at my Tia's house, my Tia Marcela's house, and going through all our candy. And the adults would sit there and have some cold ones and relax and listen to music while we went through our candy and got sugar wasted. But it was fun. It was fun. Those times were fun. So yeah, we trick or treated, and we were another part of the question, or another part of the question was what scared me. And when I was littler, I remember there was like two houses in our neighborhood that would do haunted houses, and they would do them up, fog machines, caskets, and graveyards. I mean, I remember the guy would lay in the ground, and when I was younger, those scared me. It did scare me. Those haunted houses scared me. I'm not gonna lie, and they scared me. They just scared me. And now, I mean, now Nah, they don't scare me, but I still like it. I still like the haunted houses. I like the effects. I like the theme parks that have Halloween themes. I love that now. And but growing up, yeah, that's what scared me was the haunted houses. And even though we were little and it was in the neighborhood, they did it up in my eyes, and that was a good way to scare the kids the way they did it. And what else? That's it. I think that's gonna cover that part. And yeah, I was a little late on this one. It was for Halloween, but I got busy, still doing the yard. Not really still doing it, but cleaning up now. Um, getting pretty close to my teenage years and to my young adulthood. So I'm almost wrapping up this childhood part section of my book, and I'm gonna keep them coming. I'm gonna keep them coming, kiddos. So I'll see you on the next one. And until then, good night. Love you guys.